You ready, man? You got this? Well, hey, this is the fourth prospect perspective, and this one, due to I've already done 2 UK fighters. I figured I would do 2 other fighters, and then we'll get back to the UK fighters like Groves. So this one is Saul Canelo Alvarez. He's 19 years old. He's already had 32 fights. He's 31-0 with 1 draw, 23 knockouts for a 72% winning percentage. Looking at that, you're like, my God, how does someone at 19 get 32 professional fights in? Well, he's been fighting professional since he was 14. I didn't even know you could do that, honestly. But apparently, if you're from Mexico and you're born, and as soon as you learn how to walk, you start fighting pro. I think that's how they work it there, because they're fighters, man. They do it all the time. His opponents' records, if you look at him, 16 of the 32 fighters that he's fought have had winning records. So that's not bad considering he started fighting guys at 14 years old. You know, I mean, he was a kid, legitimately a kid, and he's a welterweight. And he's pretty much been there the whole time. You have him, you look at him, there's 490 fights, 328 of them were wins, 28 of them were draws, the rest were losses, 134, for a 67% winning percentage, a 27% losing percentage, and then the other 8% or 6%, 6% was in draws. So overall, he's fighting decent fighters. And then you go in and you look at his record, and 13 of his fights have been for titles. Some kind of title. I know people are like, well, that was for this small little city title. Doesn't matter, it was for a title. 10 of his fights have been scheduled for 12 rounds. He's had another 12 fights scheduled for 10, but that's here nor there, because some of them were against guys that were in their fighting debut. But he is coming off of a very nice win over the Golden Greek, and he's had, even though he's had a 72% knockout ratio, in his last 9 fights, he's been at 89%. 8 of his 9 fights have ended in knockout. So something has turned, something has changed in his training, something has changed about him. Maybe he's starting to get some more of that hard muscle instead of the baby muscle kind of stuff. Trust me, it happens. You know, it changes a little bit. As you get older, maybe he's starting to get a little more power, a little more strength behind his shots. So let's break down the fighter. We get in there, and the first thing you know, looking at him, there's very few things that he really does wrong. He's got a nice jab. He throws a nice lead right hand, comes and pops right in. He throws hooks. He works the high-low really well. He'll uplift and throw high. He'll come in with those. He does it a lot. He'll throw high and come low. Very nice to see when you see a fighter doing these things. He is a very aggressive counter-puncher. And what I mean by that is he waits until you throw that punch. And the second you throw it, he comes over. Not only is he firing the right hand over the top, but he's throwing more than just 1 or 2 punches. He gets on you. The second he can counter on you, he might step over to the side or however he does it, because he has nice head movement as well. But when he slips those shots, he starts coming around and coming up on you, which is very nice to see. You really want to see this. This is good stuff. He's got a decent jab. And let me get into some more of the stuff here. Now, he tends to wing it when he's loading up and throwing power with his left hand. And what I mean by winging it, if you watch the right hand, it starts to come out a little bit. It doesn't drop down, but it starts to wing out. As he's loading up, the right hand starts pulling out. He also has what you don't really like to see, is he tends to, it looks like his face is coming forward when he's throwing a lot of shots. When he comes in with the right hand, his face is coming forward too. When he comes in power with the left, his face is coming forward. And that's because he's winging out and stuff like that. When you see those, watch the videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. He has, as I said, he's got a nice lead right hand. But he can get hit flush. He has been known to do that. One, because the left hand is here. Now he has a nice defense. I'm not going to say he doesn't. But anytime you have your left here, and the second you start to power out, you see what I'm saying? Can you see the opening? Can you see what happens when this happens? He becomes open. He can get hit with shots. Not a good thing, but at the same time, he doesn't do it often enough to really get it because he's more of an aggressive counterpuncher with that. Now he works the body well, as I said. He throws nice hooks. He throws nice power hooks. And he will come in and work the body as he's fighting in. Next thing you know, bam! He rips hard to the body, comes in hard with the body shots, really rips it good. You like to see these things. As I said, he can lean in with his face. Throws a lot of feints. You'll see him and he'll just pop it out like this. Now, feints are good because it keeps your opponent off balance. But the problem is sometimes it takes almost as much strength out of you and the action and everything as an actual punch would. And because of that, because a feint, in order to sell a real feint, it's got to look right. It's got to look like it's actual punch. The shoulder rolls up and in. You see the movement coming forward. You see a lot of the same things that he does with the jab and with the feint. A lot of the things have to be the same motion in order for the feint to work. He does it, I think he does it a little bit too much. Now, one of the things that he has that I don't like is he's not so much an in-fighter. If somebody gets on him, he's not a fan of it. And you'll see that because he has nice movement with his feet. The second someone gets in, boom, he's spinning around and he's coming around them and he's not letting them close in and close that gap. He tends to go straight back a bit too much. And you can really see it as a fighter's throwing on him. He'll go back to the ropes, but the second his back touches the ropes, it's like a switch kicks off in his mind. And he goes, oh God, I'm on the ropes. Boom. You'll see a great move. You'll see the right coming over the top. Boom. And already he's already turned around the guy. He's already stepped. And he goes left almost every time. Very rarely do you see the guy come in and he'll spin out to the right. He'll come, he'll see it, boom, and he's back out here so he can throw his shots and work it that way. As I said, he's very good at slipping out. He's 19 years old. He's fought 13 fights for a title. Everything's going for him, but he has to tighten up certain things. Number one, he can't wing it out anymore. He's going to have to pull that in because he does get hit flush. He's got a decent chin, so we don't want to see that tested too much. He's got to pull the left up. He's got to pull that up higher because he's dropping it here. And if you looked in the fight, he just went the distance in. What fight was that? Starts with an N. Lance something. Anyway, he's holding it too low. But he needs to tighten that up just a little more. Cut out a little bit of the feints. He throws a little too many feints. Quit leaning in with his face. You know, that you should come in, boom, here. You shouldn't be leaning forward and coming in. Takes a little bit off your stuff. Okay? I think, could he get a title? Of course, he's 19 years old. He looks great. He looks like he has a great shot. He's barely a prospect, to be honest with you, because he's had 31 fights. He is the NABF champion, welterweight. And he's only going to get better. So this is very exciting stuff to see. Okay? Well, hey, this is the 4th installment. If you have other fighters, please type it in the comments. Leave a comment, rate, subscribe if you like it. All right? Well, hey, this is Bigragu. I'm out. Keep punching.